His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Bago dahil sa ito ay kinakailangan tayo na magtulong-tulong.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Bago patungo sa pag-asenso, magsikap ng mabuti at nang guminhawa tayo.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome and give a round of applause to the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Panahon na ng pagbabago, dahil sa ito ay kinakailangan tayo na magtulong-tulong, napaunlarin ang mahal nating bayan.
Panahon na ng pagbabago at iayos ang mga dapat ayusin. Dapat lang maging tungkulin ng bawat mamamayan dito sa atin.
Gawin ng pagbabago patungo sa pag-asenso, magsikap ng mabuti at nang guminhawa tayo. Bagong malaki natin sa mundo at ipamalas ang bagong Pilipino at bagong Pilipinas.
Everyone may now be seated. You may now be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are gathered here today for the opening ceremony of the 36th Joint Commission meeting of the UN Tourism Commission for East Asia and the Pacific and the UN Tourism Commission for South Asia. We are pleased to enthrall you with the beauty of our nation and the talent and creativity of our people through this opening performance featuring Cebu's festival dancers as they celebrate with all of us the many reasons to love the Philippines.
Minsa'y natuwa ang may likha, 7,000 pulo ang ginawa. Mga hiyas na inilatag sa malasutlang dagat. At ang bayan niyang pinili, nasa dulo ng bahaghari. Kaya't 1,000 kulay nangaakit kumakaway. Piliin mo rin ang Pilipinas, kapulo ang kwintas ng perlas. Piliin mo, yakapin mo, kayamanan niyang likas. Piliin mo ang Pilipinas. Ayos ang mga dapat ayusin. Dapat na maging tungkulin ng bawat mamamayan dito sa atin.
Ng pagbabago patungo sa pag-asenso, magsikap ng mabuti at nang guminhawa tayo. Bagong malaki natin sa mundo at ipamalas ang bagong Pilipino at bagong Pilipinas.
Ng Pilipinas, kapulo ang kwintas ng perlas. Piliin mo, yakapin mo, kayamanan niyang likas. Piliin mo ang Pagbabago at ayos ang mga dapat ayusin. Dapat na maging tungkulin ng bawat mamamayan dito sa atin.
Ng pagbabago patungo sa pag-asenso, magsikap ng mabuti at nang guminhawa tayo. Bagong malaki natin sa mundo at ipamalas ang bagong Pilipino at bagong ng bukas, bunga ng bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you very much for that outstanding and astounding performance. Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver the welcome remarks, may we call on the Governor of Cebu, Honorable Gwendolyn Fiel Garcia.
His Excellency, our beloved President, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the UN Tourism Secretary General, long time no see, Zurab Pololikashvili, Philippine Tourism Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco, the Special Assistant to the President, Secretary Anton Lagdameo, Deputy Speaker Vincent Duke Frasco, the delegates to the 36th joint meeting of the UN Tourism Commission for East Asia and the Pacific and the UN Tourism Commission for South Asia. Long time no see, too. My fellow workers in government, tourism industry stakeholders, friends from media, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Something wonderful is happening right at the center of the Philippines. There is an island of about 5.5 million people. But what is extraordinary about it is that in this island, there pervades and prevails a lasting unity amongst its political leaders. And we have here Mayor Ahong Chan and Congresswoman Cindy Chan. And amongst the people of that island. This island, you're right here on it. It is called Cebu. Too often we dream of unity. We speak of unity, and yet somehow, we fail to achieve it. But not so in this beautiful, charming island of Cebu. There's an extraordinary unity that has been the impetus for this island, province, to soar to great heights of progress and development. This unity was tested in the last 2022 elections. Tested and proven when all political leaders decided to stand behind the candidate who called for unity as well. The person who saw that the only way that we could move this country forward was for us to cross boundaries, to set aside festering and sometimes getting to be irrelevant indifferences and strive for what should be the greater good for the greater number. That man, that candidate, that the Cebuanos wholeheartedly support is with us here this morning. Now, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Because the President and the Cebuanos believed in the ideal of unity in the last 2022 elections, that island of Cebu delivered the highest ever number of votes compared to any other place in the country at 1.5 million votes, leaving behind the closest opponent by over 1 million votes. And that was because our political leaders, and we have here as well our acting mayor of the city of Cebu, Raymond Garcia. Our political leaders and the people of Cebu cast our lot with a man who called for unity. Well, Mr. President, our delegates who just had a crash course on Philippine politics, may I now say that the unity that we proved in that historic year and historic election of 2022 is now stronger than ever right here in this island of Cebu. And as we did in 2022, Mr. President, we stand firmly behind you in full support of the man who calls for unity. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this beautiful, charming island of Cebu. Here we are, one island, one province, one Cebu. One Cebu, one Philippines. Daghang salamat. Thank you.
Daghang salamat. Thank you very much, Governor Gwendolyn Garcia. And now, may we hear the message from the United Nations Tourism Secretary General, Zurab Pololikashvili.
Mabuhay. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure, it's my honor to be here in Cebu, the beautiful island of Cebu, and of course, Your Excellency, dear President, Honorable President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., for us, for all of us, it's huge honor to have you at this very important event. We are celebrating already 3 days, and your presence is very clear demonstration how important is tourism for Cebu, for Philippines. I would start my opening remarks and I will tell you that we all Me, personally, I love Cebu and I love Philippines. I want to thank to all our fantastic hosts, especially dear Governor. You made our day so unforgettable, and thank you very much. Thank you for your wise, nice, and very, very one and only unforgettable advices you gave yesterday and today. We are very proud, and I mentioned yesterday, and I will repeat that you are maybe only one governor who invested all her efforts, knowledge in tourism sector. You really transformed during your 15 years of leadership, or 20, or maybe all your life you invested in tourism industry, and we are very happy to have you on our board. From yesterday, from today, you are member of our family, and we will ask you many, many times advices, and we will be together. It's just the beginning of our friendship. Dear President, it was mentioned by Governor, and you are the president of the country of 100, maybe 115 or 16 million of inhabitants. But the important thing is that the 9% of this beautiful country, the contribution in economic is tourism sector and tourism industry. We are talking about quite big contribution of the tourism in country's economy, and really very happy and honored to have you with us, supporting to our organization and our member states. As we all see, this is 36 commission. It means that 36 years we are celebrating commission, but I don't know why we are doing, and we are celebrating first time in Philippines any international event. This is beginning of history, and I can promise you that we will continue, and it's not the first and last meeting. It's just beginning, and we need more international presence. We need more international companies. We need investments. I know that you are focused a lot on investments. We need to attract more investments, more foreign direct investments in this beautiful country. Why? Because what tourism needs today, there are two main components, and there are many more which are our priorities. But the main two components, I think, these two are peace, which you have here, and love, which you have here. So this and stability, of course, which guarantees investments, which guarantees more international visitors, and we have to use all this asset to attract and to have more and more international presence, and more international projects in this beautiful country. And then I will move to our another fantastic host who already put Philippines in the heart of World Tourism Map, which is our minister, our state secretary, Tia Cristina Garcia Frasco. It's a pleasure to have such strong, such nice and professional partner and host. Of course, I don't want to forget my dear friend, your husband, dear Duke, with whom we have also very interesting plans, and we will continue to supporting Philippines during next years to develop and to make sustainable tourism much stronger here in this beautiful country. I don't want to forget last 2 days, Excellency, that we celebrated Gastronomy Forum. This was the first ever Gastronomy Forum for Asia and Pacific, and food is very important component with peace and love when we are traveling during our trips, and congratulations for this excellent event. Then I want to address our guests, our friends, ministers, vice ministers, ambassadors. I don't want to forget any private sector, chefs, which are very important people today, as all of us, to support tourism industry and tourism sector. So count on our full support. We have very concrete plans. I mentioned investments. We have to organize international big event dedicating to attract investments in Philippines. We starting thinking to have a presence of UN tourism academy or UN Tourism Educational Center, Center of Excellence here in Philippines, in Cebu, which is very important component, and education is our top priority of our organization. And then we will see and we will follow your guidance. You know much better than me and than we know what your country needs, what are the needs of your country, and count on our full support. We are very patient. We are very happy and proud, again, to have such strong, such interesting, such diverse partner like Philippines and like all your team is. And again, many, many thanks for this nice and very different and very unforgettable days you organized for us. Welcome to Cebu, welcome to our Commission for Asia and Pacific, and today we will discuss, and our Commission is discussing, this is a place to think, to rethink what tourism needs in the region. Thank you very much, and have a nice and wonderful and successful days in Philippines, and please come back because I'm sure that once you will be back to your countries, you will ask, you will tell, you explain to your friends, family members how nice and how well we are treated during our visit in beautiful Cebu. Thank you very much, and we will be back.
Thank you, United Nations Tourism Secretary General Zurab Pololikashvili. Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver her message and introduce our guest of honor and distinguished speaker, may we call on Tourism Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco.
Always the Filipino smile. Always the Filipino smile. Always.
Good morning. Mayong buntag kaninyong tanan and love the Philippines. His Excellency, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. UN Tourism Secretary General Zurab Pololikashvili, our Special Assistant to the President, Secretary Anton Lagdameo, House of Representatives Deputy Speaker Duke Frasco, Governor Gwen Garcia, esteemed ministers, vice ministers, heads of delegations and delegates of the 36th Joint Meeting of the UN Tourism Commission for East Asia and the Pacific and the Commission for South Asia. My fellow workers in government, our friends from the media, our tourism industry stakeholders, good morning. It is with immense pleasure and distinct honor that I extend the warmest welcome to all of you today. Our very special acknowledgement goes to our beloved President, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., whose presence underscores the importance of our collaborative endeavors and his commitment of the Philippines in working with all of you to advance our global tourism agenda. Daghang salamat, Mr. President, for being with us today. As the host nation and chair of this prestigious gathering, the Philippines is delighted to extend its warm hospitality to all of you from our nation of 7,641 islands of mega biodiversity, nature, adventure, steeped in history, heritage, and culture. Over a year ago today, and after nearly a quarter of a century since the Philippines held the same position, the Philippines was elected Vice President of the 25th General Assembly of the United Nations Tourism, a significant executive role. We were honored as well with the chairmanship of the UN Tourism Regional Commission for East Asia and the Pacific, as well as the privilege of hosting these joint commission meetings. These appointments bestowed upon the Philippines from the international community demonstrate the trust and confidence of our peers in the aspirations and the vision of our President towards the tourism transformation of our country. The Philippines has pristine beaches, unparalleled stunning mountains, bustling cities, and most importantly, a loving and proud people, so gracious and warm, and whose smiles make you feel that you are home. Under the leadership of President Marcos, the vision is to transform the Philippines into a tourism powerhouse in Asia. This was articulated as a strategic goal from the very beginning to showcase the country's natural beauty, its cultural richness, and economic potential to the world. This vision aimed to attract more tourists, more investments, more visitor receipts, and overall to stimulate economic growth to provide livelihood and employment to our fellow Filipinos. The Marcos administration has since implemented its vision through various programs and projects that seek to elevate the quality of Philippine tourism. Which is why we are delighted that along with the hosting of these Joint Commission meetings, the Philippines was chosen by United Nations Tourism to host the very first regional gastronomy tourism forum for Asia and the Pacific, which saw the arrival of over 600 delegates from all over the world and all over the Philippines from 43 countries. Our discussions resulted in the endorsement of a Cebu call to action on gastronomy tourism, providing our unified commitment towards the expansion of gastronomy tourism across our regions. Importantly for the Philippines, it put the global spotlight on what I am sure you have very much enjoyed these past few days, our very delicious Filipino food from all regions of the country. With the generous support of the Cebu provincial government, led by Governor Gwen Garcia, our delegates were also treated to a purview into the heart and soul of Cebu and the soul of the Philippines through a visit across our various municipalities and the islands of Camotes to witness the eco-tourism marvels, sustainable tourism initiatives, as well as the strength of the whole culture and heritage of Cebu. Most importantly, and I hope you have felt this and will feel this until you depart, you have been immersed in the love and the warmth of the Filipino people, and which I hope will cause you to come back again and again. As we gather as a community of nations today under the banner of the United Nations Tourism, we emphasize our shared dedication to preserving our culture and promoting cross-border collaboration and aligning our tourism policies. With the presence and support of no less than United Nations Tourism Secretary General Zurab Pololikashvili, along with all the important global leaders here today, we will lead discussions in the current tourism situation prevailing upon our regions and work towards green transformation, sustainable tourism development, and education in tourism. The Philippines has since shown remarkable recovery since the pandemic, having registered the highest growth rate as far as its contribution to the gross domestic product, employing over 6 million Filipinos. May our conversations today spark our continued collaborations as we pursue our passions towards the unifying force that is tourism. And may this lay the foundation further for a dynamic and enduring tourism sector that reflects the essence of a new Philippines, a bagong Pilipinas, and beckons the world to embrace and cherish the endless reasons to love the Philippines. Daghang salamat kaninyong tanan. Thank you very much. And now it is my honor to introduce His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Secretary Cristina Frasco, for your wonderful words and your kind introduction. Please take this. the UN Tourism Secretary General, Zura Pololakishvili. Together with me is accompanied the Special Assistant to the President, Secretary Anton Lagdameo, the Deputy Speaker and representative of the 5th District of Cebu, Congressman and Deputy Speaker Duke Frasco, the other honorable members of the House of Representatives who have joined us today, of course, our good friend and exemplary leader as governor, Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia, Lapu-Lapu City Mayor Junard Ahong Chan, the ministers and delegates of the 36th Joint Meeting of the UN Tourism Commission for East Asia and the Pacific and the UN Tourism Commission for South Asia, our stakeholders, both in the public sector and in the private sector, who have worked together to bring tourism in the Philippines to the rest of the world, my fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am extremely happy to be here today, surrounded by the decision makers, visionary leaders, and trailblazers who share the same passion and advocacy for a sustainable and innovative tourism program in our region. My deepest appreciation, of course, goes to our Secretary and the Department of Tourism, because under the stewardship of Secretary Cristina Frasco, they have done all the preparations leading up to this event. I also extend my gratitude to the UN Tourism Commission for East Asia and the Pacific and the UN Tourism Commission for South Asia for having entrusted us with the responsibility of hosting this very significant gathering. Apart from having the chance to shape the course of the future of tourism in our region, I consider this event as a tremendous chance for exposure for the Philippines and a very welcome boost to our efforts to show that we are one of the world's leading tourist destinations. I am very, very optimistic that your meetings will be a platform for collaboration, for discourse, and the sharing of best practices on such crucial topics for the sector as we prepare for the activities leading up to the World Tourism Day of 2024. I am especially delighted to know that two important matters to be discussed here involve education and product development through green transformation in tourism. Indeed, education is always going to make any industry better, and certainly tourism is no different. We need to raise the standards and practices in this crucial sector by investing in education, training, and skills upgrading of all the personnel who are working in this industry. We will require experts and professionals from different fields to come and help to make tourism a meaningful and educational and impactful experience, not only for our tourists, but also for our stakeholders. For what good will any tourism effort be if it ends up destroying the local culture and ecology? So this brings us to another important topic that we also need to address when it comes to developing our respective tourism industries, which is sustainability. We need to adopt sustainability in our society and economy, and certainly in the sector of tourism. We must go green in the transformation of our tourism products and services as a solution to address climate change, resource preservation, and long-term industry sustainability. As a matter of fact, I would take that even a step further. And if we are to talk about tourism, I am of the belief that the greener you are, the better the tourism experience will be. So we are also working with the private sector to pursue reforms that will make tourists visit, stay, spend, and return to the Philippines. These include measures such as easing visa access, enhancing water sanitation and healthcare facilities in tourist destinations, improving connectivity hubs such as airports. By adopting these practices, we create a tourism industry that not only creates responsible visitors, but also uplifts the lives of those who are part of that activity. Tourism plays a vital role in our economies and in our societies. In 2023, the share of tourism direct gross value added to the Philippine economy that amounted to 8.6% of our GDP, or 2.09 trillion pesos, which roughly amounts to 35 billion US dollars. This is an impressive increase of 48% compared to our previous year's numbers. Once again, congratulations to the Department of Tourism and to the work that has been led by Secretary Cristina Frasco. It marks the highest record of growth in gross value added in tourism since the year 2000. In 2023, we welcomed 5.45 million international tourists into the country, exceeding our target of 4.8 million for the year. And additionally, just from January to March of this year, international tourist arrivals in the Philippines have reached 2.9 million for that period. These highlight the robust recovery and continued appeal of our country as a top travel destination. But going beyond monetary values and numbers, these figures also mean millions of lives being changed for the better. And that's why I hope that our efforts here will lead to even better practices, more tourism arrivals, not just for our country, but for the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, I am truly excited to see the outcome of these meetings as we pursue our own understanding of the stories and traditions in every culture and dish that we encounter. Let us continue to use our cultural capital to connect and sample experiences and flavors that are profound and transformative. Once again, I extend my gratitude to the UN Tourism for your leadership in advancing tourism, not only here in the Philippines, not only here in our region, but in the entire world. I call on all the delegates, stakeholders, and partners to contribute eagerly to the success of this gathering. Let us celebrate our own cultural diversity and wonders as we build a brighter, better, and greener future for tourism here in Asia, the Pacific, and the world. Thank you all very much, and I wish you great success at this conference. Maraming salamat po at magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your very inspiring words. Now, as a token of appreciation, may we request the President to receive from Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia a puso lamp, symbolizing the heart of the Cebuanos. May we also request our stage party to witness the turnover.
United Nations Tourism for East Asia and the Pacific. Bridging nations, together we soar for a better world forevermore. Coming together from every land, hand in hand, together we stand. Great nations.
Thank you, Governor Garcia. At this point, UN Tourism Secretary General Zura Pololikashvili will present to the President a plaque of appreciation. This plaque is a manifestation of the gratitude of the UN Tourism for the Philippines' hosting of the first UN Tourism Regional Forum on Gastronomy Tourism for Asia and the Pacific, and the 36th Joint Commission meeting of the UN Tourism Commission for East Asia and the Pacific and the UN Tourism Commission for South Asia. Thank you once again, Mr. President, and thank you, Secretary General Pololikashvili. You may now be seated. At this juncture, we will have our photo opportunity with the President. May we call on the first group of ministers and delegates of the Commission for Asia and the Pacific. Meanwhile, the second group of ministers and delegates of the Commission for Asia and the Pacific, please get ready. Thank you very much to our first group of ministers and delegates of the Commission for Asia and the Pacific. Please exit to your right. May we now call on stage the second group of ministers and delegates of the Commission for Asia and the Pacific. DOT regional directors and officials, please stand by. Thank you very much to our second batch of delegates and ministers. Please exit to your right. May we call on stage the DOT regional directors and officials. Local government officials of Cebu, please prepare. Thank you very much, DOT regional directors and officials. Please exit to your right. Next, we have the local government officials of Cebu. Stakeholders and select guests, please stand by. Thank you very much, Daghang Salamat, to the local government officials of Cebu. You may exit to the right. And finally, may we call on our stakeholders and select guests. Please proceed on stage. Thank you very much to our stakeholders and select guests. You may exit to your right. And that concludes our photo opportunity, and that ends our program with the President. Thank you, Mr. President, for gracing us with your presence. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. May we request everyone to please remain in your respective places until the President has left the venue. Once again, may we request everyone to please remain in your respective places until the President has left the venue. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.